Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Golden Africa and welcome to those who are new here. My name is Murungi Sarah and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I promise to make it worth your while. About a month ago, I released a pilot episode of this new Golden Africa video YouTube era and y'all loved it. So we've decided to keep it going and go on a roll. And a few of the messages that I received were, yes, you loved the guest episode. It was amazing. I should do more guest episodes. But a few of you were demanding for the solo episodes. I do know how you love those. I love them too. And I thought it would be great for bonding, for us to get to know each other. Um, yeah, so I took it to my Instagram to ask a few questions earlier this morning and then also about a week ago. So I've kind of tried to combine the questions into one document. So if you see me looking down, it's at the questions and I'll try to get through as many of them as possible. Some of them are nice, some of them are mean and offensive, others are controversial, and a few of them are informative, which is a good mix of everything that I like. So without further ado, let's get into them. So the first question I got is from Manzi. I don't know if I should keep mentioning the names. Well, some of them I'll mention the names and others I'll keep them hidden. So Manzi asked, what does Golden Africa mean to you? And in the reality of the word, I kind of made it up. So gold as in zahabu, as in gold, as in the metal, and then gold. So a combination of the two, and the phonetic meaning of it is basically having goals and creating gold out of your goals. And that's really just what it is about, kind of capturing my own aspirations and ambitions and seeing them come to life, as well as telling the stories of other entrepreneurs who are doing the same in different parts of Africa and beyond Africa. So that's pretty much what Golden Africa is about. Another question I got is from Stacy. She said, "Congratulations on starting your podcast. I watched your first episode and it's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing." First of all, I want to say thank you. And well, not to be humble, I'm not gonna be humble about this because we've been doing this for 3 years. It's just that it's been audio and we're now getting into videos. So the first episode you saw is actually the 53rd episode. I know, we've been doing a good. And I'm happy that we're now basically having more community because this question proves that you're new here and you're a new subscriber. So keep it locked in and subscribe. And we have a bunch of episodes, around 50 something of them that you can catch up on so that you get the vibe that we're trying to put across. So follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere. Yeah. I got another question from Nana, a good friend of mine. She said, "I like how open you are with your work and you share what you're up to in your occupational life and you root for yourself heavily." I love this part. You root for yourself heavily. And it's so inspiring to see. Thank you. I do root for myself because at the end of the day, if I don't believe in myself, who's gonna believe in me? Like, do you get it starts with me and then it starts to compound through other people. But then also, I will say that I've also learned from other incredible creators, other incredible entrepreneurs across Africa and in other parts of the world. And I've witnessed their work, I've witnessed their work ethic, and I've been truly inspired by it. There are people like Lisa Kanyomozi, who's a good friend of mine. I love her work ethic. She keeps me going, honestly. There is Eli Mwenda. He also has a podcast called Man Talk with Oscar. Um, there's the TMI girls, Lydia and Murungi. There is Dario Vasillo from Stephen Bartlett in the UK. There's Grace Beverly. I love her. She's a great entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Tala and Shreddy. So there's so many incredible people that I've learned from. And that's really something I would actually impart on you. Have mentors, those who you can talk to physically, or virtually, and then also invisible mentors. There's this concept of invisible mentors where you get people who are otherwise inaccessible to you, consume their content, learn about them, watch their everything that they do and learn from them. You don't have to have someone, you don't have to follow someone along every day-to-day life and whatnot in order for them to be a mentor. That's also something I would say that I've learned earlier on in life, and I've implemented it to be ahead of my game, you know? Yeah. Um, there's a question. There's a question. I was dreading this part. I will not name this person because, yeah, he shall not be named. The question says, drum roll, please. He says, no offense, but you should be so much more, no offense, but you would be so much more successful if you didn't wear that cloth on your head. Like, why do you mix religion and work? Mind you, I ask these questions on Instagram, so I can see your profile. This is not an anonymous question. This is on an active account. Like the audacity. The audacity. Do you see what I mean when I say representation is important? When I say you have to stand in your authenticity. Because, sir, like, why are you so bothered by me covering up? Like, why? Why are you bothered, Pookie? Why are you bothered? Like, it's the way you act. It's the way you act. Because in, who in their right mind actually asks this question? Like, this is Islamophobic, this is sexist as hell. And I will have to address this because I know a lot of other hijabi sisters, other Muslim sisters, or other modest women face this at work as well or outside of work. And I will say this, representation matters. You have to stay authentic to who you are. You have to show up exactly as you are. And you have to bother these people who are basically spineless, who are airheads. They have nothing going on for themselves that they have to be bothered by how you show up in your own skin. And I think it's actually inspirational for them as well, for them to know that someone could have values, someone could have a mission that they're actually inspired by and tied to. They will show up tied to their values each and every day. Some people have no values. Some people have nothing going on for themselves. And I think you showing up exactly as you are and authentically and happily in your skin, in your own skin, without needing to validate other people's opinions, I think it's very important in life in general, in order for you to feel fulfilled. You know, like this life is meant to be lived and it's meant to be lived by you. And if you were to go around basically living your life according to other people's opinions, like you wouldn't be living your own life. You'd be living for other people. And I'll leave it just at that. Actually, I'll add one more thing. Also, I think in the workplace, it's important to have diversity. It's important to have inclusivity. It's important to have people who look different ways showing up in the same work, whether it's construction, whether it's journalism, whatever it might be. You have to show up exactly as you are in order for you to also appeal to other people who are just like you, you know? Yeah, honestly, live exactly as you want to. The others will adjust. They'll be fine. Let them choke on it, you know? Yeah. There's another question here, which is funny. I don't know how we're moving, but these questions, I didn't organize them well. So from this question to now, what's your take on girl math? This is from Joe. Um, Girl math, if you don't know what this is, it's like a phenomena on TikTok and Instagram where apparently women, take money differently from men. Like we consider expenses differently from men. We do our math, like life math, differently from men. Like men take everything too seriously, you know, like you gotta play around, you know? Um, and I was actually having a conversation with my director just a few minutes before we started shooting. And I was telling him how, let's say, if I go shopping and I have money for shopping, and say I'm with my sister or my dad or someone else, and they decide to buy for me the stuff that I've already planned on buying, like now I have more spending money. Don't come after me. This is where accountants should kind of check out because don't come after me. So that's one. Also, this is the typical one. If it's in cash, if I spend something in cash, if I buy a coffee in cash and it doesn't change my Momo account balance or my bank account balance, that's a free coffee. Another one that's kind of specific to me, I have this card that I use to pay for subscriptions and whatnot. It's separate from my bank account, Visa card and debit card and whatnot. So this one is like a particular prepaid card. So I put the money on like in January and the money's still on. I use it for like Netflix, Canva and stuff like that. And when I buy like a Kindle book, like today, that's free. That's completely free because January Sarah paid for it. It's not me that's paying for it right now. So that's just a little bit of my girl math. Other than that, obviously I'm Muslim. His money is our money. My money is my money. You know, y'all can argue in the comments. I don't care. Like that's none of my business whatsoever. Yeah. So let's go on to the next questions. I'm trying to go through them as much as possible. There's quite a lot. But yeah, someone asked, why were you not posting this whole year? You abandoned us. I feel really bad about this. And I really do, because Golden Africa is my baby. Like, it's a work of labor. And I really did love creating on it. But it got to a point where I had to level up. I had to raise the standards of my work. And I couldn't do it on my own. So it took me a long time to find the right people to have on my team. That's one. And two, um, I got distracted by work, like other work, business, and also my previous job. It's a side note. But yeah, so it wasn't personal. It really wasn't. But I'm back now and we have like a studio, we have a team. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully, the consistency will now be unmatched. I really count on that and I'll show up. And please hold me accountable for that. That's something I actually intend on continuing throughout 2024 and beyond. So yeah, this fourth year of Golden Africa is going to be amazing. You can count on that. You can trust on that. Um, this is a question. So I got this question twice from two different people. One is from another Joette. She's saying, how do you do everything? How do you balance it all? Um, well, I don't do everything. I really don't. And I don't balance everything like at equilibrium. Like some days it's like this, other days it's like that. Like that's just how it works. So for context, I work in journalism. I work as an interior stylist and a furniture producer. I work as a visual content creator and storyteller. I have a podcast. I have a business. I do brand building work and personal branding work, as well as content marketing. But in my eyes, it's all connected. Like it might sound like a lot when you try to categorize it, but I think at the end of the day, I'm just like a business or brand builder and also a storyteller. It's really as simple as that. Other than also adding on the aspect of now creating spaces that are fulfilling, creating spaces that are basically allow people to thrive, whether it's homes, offices, airport lounges, and whatnot. So it's really just three things in my eyes, and it's all connected to my own personal mission and my needs and my goals. So there's that. The other person who asked this question asked how talk about multitasking while having fun. Um, the simplest way I can put it is I have a brain of a child. Not to underplay myself. I don't mean it exactly like that. I mean it like I have a playful mind. So I try to everything is a game to me in a way. So it's like I'm leveling up. I'm upskilling in one way. I'm increasing my ammo in another way. And it's really just a game. So there's like different levels to my game. I have different characters in my life and I have different avenues in which I express myself. So it's really all fun because it's tied to my own personal mission and it's authentic to who I am. So that's how I managed to do everything. But then also I would say this is something that I'm learning to do is having people around me to work with, right? Instead of being a one-woman show, I have people around me that I work with, I collaborate with on projects and whatnot. So instead of taking the approach of competition, I take the approach of collaboration. And basically my game is like multiple players. So yeah, that's how I do it. Joel, 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 I feel like putting both your government names on this, because how dare you? How dare you? Joel asks, what's the tea on how you quit your job? There's no tea. There's really no tea. Um, those who know, and those who don't. But really, the essence of it is it was time. Um, I was working in broadcast journalism and I was also writing for particular publication, which shall not be named. If you follow me on Instagram or anywhere, really, you know. So I think it was time. It was like an itch I wanted to scratch. A lot of people around me, my mentors, told me it was the next best step. Because I was doing Golden Africa. It was like a personal project, passion project almost. And they were like, why not try broadcast journalism? So I was like, you know what? Why not? So I tried it out. I kind of liked it. But also it was taking too much time from me and my businesses. So I'm an entrepreneur at my core. I actually studied entrepreneurship as my degree. Like, who does that? Me. So I'm a business builder. That's really who I am at my core. And even my dad every day I would get up and go get ready for work. He'd be like, why are you working a job? Like, go back to business, please. Like, please. So eventually with time, it kind of caught up to me and I couldn't balance the two anymore because it wasn't even two things that I was balancing. I was balancing a lot. So I chose to prioritize my businesses rather than just like a simple passion. Um, yeah, because I didn't see a long-term career building in journalism, rather in storytelling, having conversations that uh, enliven me, you know? So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the tea. There's no tea really. And yeah, and now I'm doing something that I really like. I'm expanding Gold in Africa. I'm working on Baza Atelier, which is my interior styling and furniture production business. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, let's see. We have a couple questions, but I feel like we're running out of time. So I'm gonna try to do maybe two more questions before calling it a day. Um the first, let me see. Huh. Yeah. Okay. What's the most valuable lesson you learned in your career journey and how has it shaped your professional growth? Um it's quite a few, so I'm gonna list them out. The first one is failing fast. Like, allow yourself to quit fast. Don't wait for 5 years at a particular job for you to realize, oh, this is not for me. No. If you're 1 month in and you're like, no, this thing does not align with me, leave. Like, this life it keeps going. The world keeps spinning. You know, it's not gonna wait for you to be ready to jump off and create something of your own. Like, just keep failing fast. And this also applies in businesses. I have I'm 23 and I have like three failed businesses already, and I'm working on two right now. So if there is something I've learned in this life, fail fast. Like, if it's not working for you, if it's not for you, like, keep it moving, keep it pushing. Like, you'll be fine. Another one is don't be afraid of the pivot, which is something that I really stand by. Like, if you studied medicine and you're practicing it 1 year in, 2 years in, and you're like, nah, I want to do architecture, jump, go do it. Like, it doesn't matter how different your goals are or how big the jump is in terms of the switch up, just do it. If it works for you, it works for you. You know, it's your life. You only get one life. So keep it moving, keep pivoting until you find the sweet spot. Um, Another thing I would say, this is a lesson I learned recently and from other people's mistakes, is don't attach don't attach your self identity to your work. I'll repeat that one for the people in the back. Don't attach your self identity to your work. Because I've worked with people who, let's say, they're doctors. We're not getting too specific. And like, the only thing they see themselves as is a doctor, even though they're parents, even though they're passionate about Africa, even though they want to build businesses and whatnot, just because they've attached this identity and held it so at their core, then they can't really see life from a different perspective other than that one specific doctor lens, you know? This applies to a lot of different careers, whether you see yourself as a carpenter and that's all, or you see yourself as a journalist and that's all you could ever be. Like, that's not true. You're a multifaceted individual. And the sooner you learn yourself and become more self-aware and learn your skills, your strengths and whatnot, the better your life will be. You'll be able to explore more aspects of who you are, even though it's not in the career sense, even though it's in a hobby sense. So yeah, that's something I really learned. Let's see, maybe one more question and we call it a day. Um, yeah. How do you handle self-doubt and imposter syndrome? And what advice can you offer to those striving to build confidence in their careers? I think I have a couple episodes on this, maybe like episode 50 or something, on imposter syndrome. So go check that out. And what I can add to that episode, basically, something I don't think I've said before is um, document your life, journal your thoughts, and take videos. I usually go on the photo booth app on my laptop and create videos for myself, to my future self. Um, Kind of when I'm struggling with friendships, or like struggling with decisions in my career or my business and whatnot. And with time, when I look back to, let's say, videos that I created last year, and I realized just how smart she was, I'm like, damn, like you thought that was a big problem. Like, I like how you were thinking. And I see exactly how those particular decisions got me to where I am today. I kind of stopped being such an imposter in my life, because I'm like, damn, if she was that smart, how smart am I now? You know? Because sometimes we have like this limited lens because of the people around us who are negative, let's say our parents, friends, foes, and whatnot, who have told us different things, whispers that we kind of take as fact, which is not true. So once you write to yourself and you read your own words, hopefully that they're words of love and affirmation and whatnot, then you kind of get out of that bubble. You realize just how different you are and in different phases of your life. So yeah, I think that's something that really helps me and helps me bring things into perspective. Yeah, that's all for today's episode, today's Q&A episode. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And as always, my dear, stay gold and go get it.